Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Chat About Dad. And I'm joined today on the other side of the Bunnings trestle table, the lovely Jess. Hello, Jess.
Hello, everyone.
So today we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and that is funeral transfers or deceased transfers, bringing people's loved ones into our care. And I mean, that's pretty much, nearly half of our job in doing that. So I'm going to let Jess take a little bit of a lead with some of this, and then I'll just butt in whenever I need to. You ready for this, Jess?
I sure am.
All right. So someone rings and says, "Hey, Chris, Mum's just passed away, home, nursing home, hospital, normally a private hospital if someone's ringing us at that time, or at 1 o'clock in the morning or something else like that." So what happens from there? Tell us what happens from there.
Okay, so during the first phone call, so normally Chris or Emma are the lovely people that families will get on the line.
Wow.
I know, aren't they lucky? So look, I guess taking the first phone call, you take as much information as you can about the deceased or, their loved one. You obviously find out where they are. Are they needing us right at that moment, or depending on where they are. So if it's a nursing home or if someone has passed away at home, we would normally be going on that transfer straight away. So if we're at the office during business hours, it's normally pretty easy because we just stop what we're doing and we jump in the van and
Get the
we
crumbs
go.
off our top from all the snacks we've
Stop
been
eating.
Yeah.
But these phone calls can come in the middle of the night too. So if that's the case, normally Chris would call whoever is on call.
Yeah.
Normally it's Chris and myself. We always have a bit of a joke that we are normally busier when Chris and I are on call together. It's just a thing, So we would make our way into the office if we're not already there, and we would make sure that our transfer van is ready to go.
That's it.
So obviously one person would be the driver.
Yep.
The other person is going to be, I guess you'd say the lead person on that transfer.
And then off we go.
Off we go. We make sure we've got snacks and no,
we don't do all that.
So look, we could be transferring someone quite locally, or we could be travelling halfway across the countryside. So we don't really know until
have car will travel.
That's it.
Definitely.
That's it. So look, the first thing that we get ready. So as we're driving, the passenger will be the one that records the transfer in our transfer book.
Yeah.
So we make some details and some notes of the person that is coming into our care. So their name, their date of birth, their date of passing, where we are transferring from, and the next of kin details. So what we'll also do is we will write a name tag.
Yeah.
So like a wrist tag. We use a black Sharpie or a black pen to write their name on that, and that is to be popped on their wrist at the transfer.
Yeah.
So we just make sure that we've got that all ready to go.
Yeah.
So there's also some details in the transfer book that we will refer back to when we're at the transfer, but we fill out as much as we can while we're travelling. Once we get to our destination, so someone would knock on the door.
What happens if it's a roller, like a sliding door? We wouldn't do it. We don't just do that, do we? It'll be the press the button and hello. Where are you from? Bremba Family Funerals. The where? The who, the Bremba. Bremba. B-R-E-M for Mary, B-E-R.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we come.
It is. So funny
That's good.
how many people struggle with Bremba for a
Yeah.
business name.
I should have thought something different, but
Smith.
nah.
Smith would have been
Smith,
good.
yeah.
Smith Family Funerals.
Oh, is that Smythe? Like, news in. It's Bremba, not Brunna. Brumina. What was? We even had one that was like a burger joint.
Look, one of the best. I think one of the best business names I've seen where someone has, written Bremba Family Funerals. I think it was on a death certificate once. It was Burger Family Funerals. And I'm like, not even close.
Don't mind a burger, but I tell you what, I don't know. I don't know if that would be. No, I don't want that as my surname. No.
Burger Family
Burger.
Funerals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so slightly sidetracked. It's amazing how we start talking about food.
Snacks. Burgers. Yum. Oh. Yep.
It's all about food here.
Yeah. So we've gone to the venue, the location.
Yeah.
Obviously introduce ourselves to who we are, why we're there, obviously, especially if it's nursing homes or hospitals. Sometimes they don't even know that something's happened in different wards. But we always suss out the place first.
Yeah.
We don't just go guns blazing with all stretchers and the whole box and dice, drive the van into the nursing home. We're taking it straight in. So there's a bit of a. I mean, if we're going into a private hospital, we have to take the stretcher in because we might be up, 20 floors and 4 kilometres down an aisle somewhere, and then it's like, oh, we better go get the stretcher. So, but getting out of some of these places is even harder because you've got to have that fob thing, don't you?
Oh, the amount of times there's one particular local hospital that we go to, and we never learn. So getting into the hospital is quite easy.
Yeah,
we will do the transfer of the deceased that we're caring for.
Yeah.
We will get back into the elevator, the doors close, and nothing happens because we don't have one of those special swipe cards.
We did one, and it was over the other side of town, and it was a private hospital again. Now, the last time I went there would probably been about 15 years ago. So, but things were quite similar. You had to go into the ambulance car park first, and then it had this arrow to where the reception was. Now, I remember 15 years ago that we used to have to go around and down this little, the hospital I'm talking about.
I do. Yes, I do.
And it's sort of like, it's like the lucky dip. You're not sure what you're going to get.
Yep.
So we backed down this driveway. Jess went in first just to say, hey, we're from Bremba Family Funerals. And what did the lady say on reception? Like, you can make your way down.
It was very interesting because she spoke to me like we'd been there 5 times that week already. Now, it's on the other side of the city, so it's not a hospital we transfer from regularly.
No.
But as Chris said, we had to park in the ambulance bay to start with. And I've walked in, so I've been given directions. I've walked in and I've found myself in the middle of the emergency department. And I'm like, oh, look, I don't think this is quite where I need to bring the stretcher.
No.
We might alarm some people.
Yeah.
But she said to me, oh, look, I can't really give you directions right at the moment, but you just go down the driveway and park near the garbage bins. And I'm like, I shouldn't have needed to ask for that.
Because to let people know that a majority of, unfortunately, where we have to enter and exit for mortuaries and is through the back entrance, basically, where all the, like a loading dock and all of that is. And it's not the nicest, and sometimes the smells coming just from the bins themselves aren't very good.
It's pretty awful.
They don't build hospitals and nursing homes purely and solely for the exit. But I often think, well, you've built an entry. Why do we wouldn't you do something a little bit, we go out the entrance or make something of the exit being a little bit more dignified?
I absolutely believe that people
Going through
deserve
that?
the dignity going out as much as them coming in.
You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we backed the car down, and I thought, we used to go in that door, so we went in there, and door just popped her head in. She goes, it's open, that's good. Then we got the stretcher out, went inside, and then it was where the X-ray department was. So luckily we didn't light up like a Christmas tree.
We were
Because
literally...
we had the metal stretcher and pens and stuff. It was
Yeah.
like, you shouldn't
Yeah.
have metal in that area, but we'll bring it in.
We were in the depths of this hospital, walking around aimlessly with a stretcher.
But then there was this little usher, or what was he? Like
An orderly.
an orderly, yeah.
Same.
And he goes, yeah, okay, yep, come here. He put us into the lift and then just sent us up to the floor. Now, it wasn't a staff lift or a goods lift. It was the general public lift.
Yeah.
Now, my anxiety goes up by 500% when I do that because just my luck, if this guy hasn't pressed the button correctly or, used the right fob, we're going to end up ground floor pretending we're selling sandwiches or something, So we got up to the floor and there was another patient transport person team there waiting, having this argument with the nursing staff that didn't think that this person that they were collecting was actually on the ward. We were saying, well, we've got one here that we need to get. So we're sort of, you go first. No, you go first. Anyway, we ended up going in there and doing the transfer, and that was all good. And then trying to find someone to sign off the paperwork was finding a needle in the haystack. Our family was absolutely ropeable, and it ended up being one of your friends anyway, friend's family. So we were trying to do everything that we could within a certain frame of time. Then we get to the lift.
Mind you, I think we need to set the scene a little bit too. It was a Saturday at lunchtime.
Yeah.
So there were millions of people on
Everyone's
this floor visiting other people that are in the hospital.
Bringing in snacks and drinks, and here we are bringing her out of the hospital as quickly as we can, so we're not in the eye of the public. So we finally, the lift opened, we went into the lift, but then no one fobbed us to go down to get to where we needed to for whatever reason. And I think when we finally did do it, when we went down, we didn't go right down.
I think instead of going to the basement, we've gone to ground floor.
Ground level. And there's the pathology person and some general public around there. And we were like deer getting spotted with headlights. It was like,
and
ding.
The lifts are not very big, so there was enough room for Chris, myself, and the stretcher. And people have kind of gone to step in, and then they're like, "Oh no.
So my anxiety was pretty high at that. I dislike that. I just think if we're going to be going up and down, there's got to be like a staff entry lift, or no. We're going to go down that way.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I felt it was like, oh, well, she's gone now. Doesn't matter. It's like
an afterthought for
she's still part of your care until we're physically out the back near the bins.
Yep.
Then she becomes our thing, But we spoke about it all the way back. We were laughing too because it was a funny experience, but one that we don't really want to have to go through.
Oh goodness, no.
So transfers of people can be very, very difficult to do, and it's not because of the person's difficult to transfer it. It's staff.
Yep.
And then relatives. Oh, but I've got John. He's coming down from Echuca.
Yep.
It's like, when is he coming? Oh, he's only just left. It's like, well, we're here. Like, can't he look at mum or whoever
Yeah.
later on, like let's just do what we have to do.
Yeah.
So we have two different types of stretches, don't we? No,
We-
three different types of stretches.
Yes, we do.
Well, we do now. So what do we got?
We have got our Furno stretcher, which I personally love. That's probably my favourite. It's what I
says get the striker.
what I learnt with.
Yeah.
So they are ambulance stretchers. So we use the same stretchers that you would use if you were being, brought into the hospital on an ambulance stretcher.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We've also got a striker stretcher. I also really like this one too.
Oh, now she's
Oh, no,
like
I
this
do.
one.
I do. I think you have your favourites.
Yeah, I like this one now. Yeah.
We use both of them for different reasons.
Yeah.
I probably tend to use our striker stretcher if we're in more of a hospital setting.
Why is that?
Look, I like it because it's a little bit more manoeuvrable. I guess it's a little bit like it's got 4-wheel drive rather than just the
So
rear-wheel drive.
you can clip it out of 2-wheel drive into 4-wheel drive to
Yep.
do it to pretty much turn on
Yeah.
on a coin. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So really good if you're in, tight little spots and you don't have a lot of room to move.
Yeah.
You can easily turn them on there. Yeah, on a 20-cent piece.
Yeah.
It is a little bit heavier, so I'm always mindful of the weight of the person that we're putting on there.
Well, the Furno trolley is about 35 odd kilos without anyone, and I think the Striker's 60 something.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
we're
a big difference.
double that. Plus, then you add the person's body weight onto that.
Yep.
And if you're having to hoik that in and out of a family home, there can be some issues. And look,
Yeah.
it's only very new to us, so we'll probably get to a point that it'll be second nature. But
Of course.
But even just the utilizing the handles and like the Striker, you've got so many different buttons and things to press, whereas the other one's just like one.
It's more of a
handle.
manual
Yeah.
manual stretcher.
And then we have a 2-man stretcher. Did you say that before?
No, I didn't get that far.
I'm thinking, it's like, so we have a 2-man stretcher, which is basically like ones that you see people getting lugged on off the football ground. Like the two guys, 2 girls, whatever, handling onto the handles and then running off
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you teabagging the poor bloke. That's there. I just got the YouTube clips in my head of people coming off the grounds and they drop them or flip them and, the poor blokes, it's...
Disclaimer there, we've never dropped or flipped
Oh,
anyone.
no. Or have we teabagged anyone before?
No.
Only in
No.
training. I was, and I'll tell you, I was teabagged.
I've just got it in my mind now.
And it is something that I will never forget. Not something that you really, but that staff member is no longer with us.
For that reason. No. We do some pretty extensive stretcher training just to make sure that our staff are always, safe and competent in what they're doing. And this one particular day, we actually used Chris as our deceased.
Yeah. If you want someone big, I'm going to give you someone big. Here we go. Try to lift me.
We had 2 of our newer staff members doing some training, so we got Chris all wrapped up and put on the 2-man stretcher, and one of our young staff members, he was pretty green, but he went to lift the stretcher up.
Yeah.
And pretty much lifted Chris's face right into his crutch. I do have photo evidence of that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. But yeah, look, stretcher, the whole stretchers. I mean, how we look at it is we're talking before about going and assessing the situation first of, be it if it's a house or a nursing home. Nursing homes and hospitals are going to be pretty good, but normally family home where the outside might be fine, but it's the inside that you're going to be concerned with. Like we had to use the other night the 2-man stretcher because I nearly had to go down sideways down the hallway. That's how narrow this thing was, into this small room that was cluttered. Like there was lots of stuff in that room that probably shouldn't have been in that room for someone of his state.
It's a little 3x3 bedroom at the back of the
Yeah, it was
house.
tiny. It was really tiny, and I did feel for him with all these with the things that were happening, crawling in the corner. But we made the decision. Okay, we're going to use the 1-man stretcher. So we brought the Furno, so that's the lighter one in, and we brought the folded 2-man stretcher in. So what we could do was pretty much get him onto that from the bed onto the 2-man stretcher and do, I guess we can call it the Hannibal Lecter, where he's strapped onto the stretcher, and then we had to sort of like nearly stand him. Well, he was stand him upright, but he's strapped in, and then wheel him out, and then down the hall and lift him up. And
almost reminds me of, if someone was moving a fridge, like to put a fridge or a piece of furniture on a like, do they call it a dolly trolley?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's a dolly trolley.
Dolly trolley. Yeah.
Yeah, so we make sure that people are safe and secured, and it just means that we can, I guess, move them upright to get them around.
Like there is some places, and luckily, touch wood, we haven't had to be there, but in my early days, we had to go to the Housing Commission unit in West Melbourne. Mm-hmm. I think that's west, near Footscray Road and all that there.
Yeah.
Whatever that is there. So they got the ones near the cheese grater.
Yep.
And in those lifts is only really enough for like 3.5 people.
Yep.
So to get someone out of that, you have to stand them.
Yep.
You don't have a choice. So you then ended up having your normal stretcher downstairs. Now, so if you had someone that was 150 kilos, right, out of a housing commission flat, you have to stand this person upright.
Yep.
You don't have a choice. And going down flights of stairs isn't the best.
No.
So, and then you'd have your normal stretcher downstairs. So you'd get that person down and then lift them straight onto the normal stretcher and then off you go. Or what we used to do is that we might already have 3 bodies on board already.
Yep.
So then you'd have to lift, because we didn't have hydraulics back then.
Yeah, of course.
We'd have to then lift that 150 kilo person up onto the top deck. So
yikes.
yeah, there's lots of situations, and there's even ones where we can't even get, for example, the 2-man stretcher in there. We've got to then use a sheet to get people out. So then there's people that pass away around toilets. Mm-hmm. A lot of people push and pull and all sorts of things in that toilet area when they're going to the toilet. Yeah. And they lose all ability and bang, they go.
We normally refer to like if people pass away in a bathroom, especially how some bathrooms are configured. It can often be the triangle of doom.
Yeah.
Depending, and a lot of people do. It is a common thing for people to pass away if they're sitting on the toilet.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'd want to, pass away in the toilet. I don't know.
No.
And at times it's not, and we always say to families, what we're going to do here may not be dignified, but we have to do it to get Dad out of there, and then we can tidy him up and do whatever else we have to. But yeah, and majority of the time, if they've been on there overnight, rigor mortis may have stepped in, and then you've got the seated pose rather than mindful that would then have to massage that rigor mortis out to get him to a laying state rather than a seated state. I remember just talking about seated state. This gentleman had passed away in his comfy chair, beautiful old comfy chair out in the lounge room. And he said to his wife, it was early hours of the morning, said, "Oh, look, I'm just going to get up, have a drink, and I'm just going to sit in my chair." And she went, "Oh, okay, yeah, no worries. Anyway, he obviously wasn't too well and passed away in the chair. Had lots of medical issues. But then when obviously she's come out in the morning, found Reggie just, head down. We got the call. Ambos and police were called just, because it was that instant thing.
Yeah.
They made sure there was no, knives in his back or anything else like that, which is the standard, coroner's thing to do, make sure that there's no foul play. We got called, got there, and all the family wanted to be around. All the family.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, Dad, off the chair. Well, I lifted one part of him, and I knew that he was going to come in that seated position. There was no, and I'm laughing now because I can see both of our faces, like when I did the transfer, and it was like, oh, this ain't going to be good if they're going to stand there. So we had to then politely say, look, Dad obviously has been here for a little while, and you would have heard that, arms and legs get stiff and things like that. I said, we need to massage that to then put Dad onto that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they all went out. But it was like, lifting him up, then putting him on, so he looked like he was on all fours. By the time, I don't know if you can picture that. But his arms are out, and then his legs are up, and then we had to, apply some force to do that. But at times, like we said, transfers aren't always the most beautiful thing to do.
You never know what is coming.
Oh, no. So what else have we got with transfers? Obviously, there's lots of paperwork that we've got to do once everything happens.
There is. So before, look, and I guess saying, if we use the idea that, we've gone to a nursing home for a transfer, family might be there. We always introduce ourselves and we always give the family, the option whether they would like to assist us or whether they would prefer to step out of the room while we transfer their loved one onto our stretcher. I get a bit of a 50-50. I find, some people do really like to assist and some people are like, no, we don't want to see anything. So as Chris said before, we normally make our way into the room. I guess for a better term, we always like to go and meet or see the person that's coming into our care. It's nice to, I don't know, just to be for a minute. It's when you have, a little bit of chit chat with the family and whatnot. But one of the first things,
Chris does the transfer while someone else is doing that.
Please, well, I like to chit chat.
Oh, I didn't even have time to get my gloves on. Oh, you're a good boy. Yeah.
So, well, yes, I guess exactly.
Go on, tell it how it is.
I do like a good chat with our families. But look, one of the first things we do is we assess the room, as Chris said, if we need to move any furniture. Often they have big armchairs that we can,
They
hopefully
pile too much stuff into a very tiny space.
Room. Very much so. We will normally put, the first thing we do is we pop the wrist tag that I was talking about on our deceased.
Yep.
That name tag then travels with them the entire journey until they are buried or cremated. We just would never take any chances of, I guess mixing anyone up or, it's just a foolproof way of knowing that we're doing everything right.
Yeah.
Then what we do is we document what that person is wearing. So the clothing that they're coming in, they might be wearing some fluffy pink socks and a nightie or some pajamas. So we document that, and then we document jewellery. So we specifically look for earrings, necklace, rings, bracelets.
Watch.
Anything, I guess anything below there that's probably not
Yeah,
our
no,
business.
No.
And we're fairly specific in what we write when we document this. So, you know, rather than saying, you know, a diamond ring, we will put a clear, like gold ring with clear stone or
gold-coloured ring.
Gold-coloured ring. Sorry. No, we need to get very specific.
We need to do some more training on that.
Oh,
yeah.
goodness. That's just to make sure. And look, often if people are wearing jewellery, we always give the option to the family for us to take it off right there and then, and for the family to keep it.
Yeah.
That just takes, you know, any issues out of, you know, someone saying, "Oh, Mum was wearing a ruby ring on her finger. Where is it?" Well, if it wasn't documented, then it wasn't on her hand.
Yeah, definitely.
Very much so. So normally while this is happening, you know, so Chris, if it's Chris and I normally transferring together, Chris is normally preparing the stretcher. I'm, as he says, he's doing all the work.
Yep.
What we would do then is make sure that our
This is.
well, that sounds like my
Jess,
angry walk with
Jess
my
has
heels.
just gone to see the nursing staff now. I'll be right back. Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
So we will pop a sheet under the deceased unless they already have one.
If the thread counts good, then we'll take.
If the thread counts good, then we will take them from the nursing home. We've got no shame in saying that.
No, look, sometimes the situation is that if it's easier, or especially if they've got like skin slip or ailments, and it's easier that we can take their. They're not normally fitted sheets; they're flat sheets.
I get in trouble for stealing the fitted ones.
Yeah, well, yeah, from private nursing homes and hospitals, but. Normally it's, you know, we take one and leave one.
Yeah.
But we tend to take
four and leave one.
No.
Or pillows are good too.
But it all works out. It all works out. But so yeah.
With that sheet, that is then a protectant for, you know, a protectant for that. For
anything that was to leak or even just to get them off the bed, just that extra little bit of sliding motion.
So we tend not to use pat slides or anything like that. We've got a pretty good system.
What I find is when they have those airbed things, but when the person passes away, they turn the damn thing off.
I know, and then they're in like a little,
it's like
a little gully.
or like
bed.
A parachute material that you've got to try to go and find them, and it's like just turn. And you look at this machine and you think, okay, if I press that, maybe
which we have done on many occasions.
Maybe this will. This deceased may get catapulted.
Yep.
Like we don't know what this item can physically do.
I remember once Cherie and I went on a transfer to a nursing home towards the city, and I think Cherie accidentally just got her foot caught in a cord under the bed, but it was enough that the cord pulled out from the bed, but it set off an alarm. So this alarm was screaming through the hospital.
And it was a patient alarm or something, was it?
Yeah. I don't know what the alarm was for. But
can we help you? No, we're all good.
Oh, look, it was so embarrassing.
Yeah. Okay, it wasn't like a fire alarm.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
You get downstairs and there's hot fireys down there. It's like, oh, yeah.
Look, if that's all I have to do for hot fireys, I'm going to be pulling every lead out when we get there. But look, then we transfer our deceased onto our stretcher. So sometimes we need to lower our stretcher, or we can bring the bed up to the highest point.
Depends on how old the bed is too. Like if it's a nursing home that's had a bed for 10 years, it's probably unlikely going to go much higher than say a metre.
Yeah.
But some of these new hospital things, are,
some of them are amazing.
Oh, it does everything.
So once we've got them safely onto the stretcher, the first thing we do is we use our seat belts, top and bottom.
Yeah.
We secure them in nice and tight, so that they don't move around in any sort of transport.
Yeah.
They're safe
And safe for
sound.
them too.
Of course.
You know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Then we have our canvas, I guess.
Well, it's a cover.
It's a
It's
cover.
canvas cover.
Canvas cover.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the right word
And
for
that
that.
then just saves like any of those. But also a bit of dignity too for people.
Absolutely. So we would do that up without covering the person's face, and that's especially if family have stepped out of the room.
Yeah.
That's when we would normally invite them back in, kind of to say their last goodbyes, and their loved one is normally at maybe chest height.
We get handed the teeth.
Oh look, yeah.
Just some of these places, man. I tell you what.
Sometimes
We were. Didn't you? Yeah, we went to a nursing home, or you went to it. Yeah,
I went to a nursing home, and I asked the nurse at the time. It was really early morning, and I said, "Oh, do you have her teeth?" "Oh, yeah, I think so. And off she goes out of the room, and I thought, "Oh,
goes into someone else's room.
Where have you got?
Where have you been hiding these teeth?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, she fussed around for about 10 minutes, and we were all ready to go. Anyway, she comes in and she puts her hand out, and I've just put my hand out, not even thinking, and she has dropped teeth in my hands. They're not in a tissue, they're not in a bag, they're not in a container. Yeah. And all I could think of doing with them was just slipping them in my jacket pockets. And I just thought, oh my God, I've just done that. And Britt, who I was on the transfer with, thank God it was early morning and there was no family there, because she couldn't stop laughing knowing that I had just slipped a set of teeth.
And look,
in my
I must say
pockets.
that sometimes a lot of the people that are in nursing homes don't get to wear their teeth all the time because of their gums and all that. But there's usually a set of teeth that's got like a week's worth of food underneath it. And I'm not full of garbage, because it is legit. That they've just gone, oh, well, he's not going to use his teeth, but we'll just stick it into this little bowl of water over here.
Gross.
And let it ferment.
So that was the day that we decided to put like little snack, like the little sandwich bags in our stretcher, like little snack bags. And we always just make sure that we've got one of those handy on a transfer if needed, because that was the first and the last time I've held someone's teeth in my bare hands. Oh, goodness.
It probably doesn't, when you think about it, okay, someone's teeth, they might be clean. But, yeah, it is that whole like, oh, here's his teeth.
Yeah, no.
No, not and the hygiene side of stuff. That's not good either.
No. Look, and especially if we are in a nursing home, private hospital, especially like, I guess, anywhere where we could be seen by the public. I mean, we do our very best to keep everything very low key, and we certainly don't go parading.
Unless we go transfers with Jess.
Well, yeah. Sometimes things just happen.
Tripping up or face planting plants.
I fall over everything.
To, dropping the vase.
Pretty much everything that you could do, I have done.
Yeah.
But we always make sure that we have our dignity blanket. So that is the very last.
What, for you to wrap yourself up in?
Yeah, I try and cover it over my head so no one can see all the silly things that I have done.
Yeah. Because sometimes we go to nursing homes right at dinner time.
Yep.
And, the classic thing would be, oh, don't worry, just walk straight through the dining room. Like, there's people we all know, and we may have already had family like this that, their body's failed, but their mind is good.
Oh, absolutely.
And, if you're in one of these, I call them like like God's waiting room. You know what I mean? They're there. They're just going through each day as it comes. But if you weren't with it with your mind, then you probably wouldn't comprehend what was happening.
Yeah.
But for those that are,
yeah,
that's I mean, how much more do you need? a kick in the guts. Hey, you might be young, but you're in a group of
it's confronting
20 or 30-year-olds that are older than you.
Yep.
That and you're just like far out. Or they'll take you in and out of the kitchen. That was a classic one.
Yep.
Done that a few times. It's like, oh yeah, what are you having for soup? And got soup on, and we're just going to bring Maisie out through here.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I recall this is another transfer that Sheree and I did together, and it was right on lunchtime to a local nursing home, and the staff there were amazing. And they brought us through, and they have the real mantra of these people came into this nursing home through the front door, and they will always go out the same way.
Yeah.
So the dignity, and they did a magnificent job. Like they made a guard of honour with music, and it was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
But it was the busiest time of the day. So, of course, there's a lot of activity happening in the nursing home. Everyone's in the dining room. And where we had to go with our stretcher, so we were being led by the nurse, was pretty much straight through the middle of this dining room.
Oh, far out.
Anyway, we had to stop because the nurse got held up just for a second sorting out a little issue. So Sheree and I just kind of stood there very politely, but of course, they're all looking at us.
Everyone's looking at you now.
And there were these two beautiful older ladies sitting closest to us, and you smile and make a little bit of small talk, and anyway, one nudges the other and says, "Oh, Beryl, someone's not very well." Anyway, well, we got the giggles. Got the giggles.
And what do you say? What do you say in that environment? Like, just stand here. Like, we're just going to be a shag on a rock. Don't worry about us.
They were
fine.
They were so funny, and they were so sweet, and we just couldn't help but laugh. And I guess that's the human side of what we do.
Definitely.
Is there's never the perfect. I don't think there is such a thing as the perfect death.
We find that sometimes we've done the transfer. We're just about to get like sometimes the nursing home staff will go, oh well, you know how to get out. Like, well no, we've gone through 8 different doors. Yeah. I reckon we've done 3 laps of this nursing home already. Yeah. It's dark. It all looks the same. And they go, well, do you know what the code is? Like, you can't get out.
No.
Like, and then they'll go 36955, and you go 3 what?
What?
3.
Yeah. # dash. Like, what?
You know the code? It's like, or you're in a suburb and they'll go, it's the postcode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what the...
No. I had that happen at a nursing home. Was it? Oh, it would have been last week.
Yeah.
I went in, and as I'm about to leave, so it's like you press the big green buzzer to unlock the door. But I've got this beautiful little old lady that is trying to take my hand, and she's coming with me. And I thought, no, I can't break you out of here. I'm sure that's yeah. But she was onto it. Yeah. She was like, I know how to get out.
Oh yeah. All they need is tracing someone's finger on that pin pad, and they are out. It's a bit of stealth mission.
Absolutely.
But then we get to the back of the vehicle and place them in and secure them, and then bring them into our warm arms. So that's I guess that's the comfort that we get. But sometimes you go to these places and it's just expected that you know where you're going. But I have a thing that they've invested a lot of money to be in some of these nursing homes. At least give them the dignity to see them out.
Well, it's their home too. That's where they've...
you don't just go, what, thanks Mavis for your time. She's only been here for 15 years, but I've got to fix your bed up now. So if you just go out the front door or the rear door, like it's just, I don't know. I think sometimes it gets a little bit like that. But
I know we've spoken a lot about, some of the funny things that have happened, some of the unexpected things. One of the more recent transfers that I was a part of, again, went to a fairly local nursing home, and it was a beautiful Maori family that we were looking after. Anyway, when we arrived, the entire family was there. So I think there were about 35 people. It was quite late in the night, and I spoke to the family, and there were maybe I think 4 sons, and I said, would you like to help us, transfer your mum onto our stretcher, and I explained that. Anyway, they said, we'd like to do that. So they did that for their mum.
Yeah.
We, of course, supervised and helped, but that was a beautiful thing for them to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, then as we brought the stretcher out of her room, the family followed and someone played the guitar and they sang.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was absolutely stunning. Like, it was really hard not to be emotional.
Yeah.
And then we placed her, into our van. The family all had their last, couple of moments.
Yeah.
And as we drove away, they continued singing and playing, and it was probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And look, family are more than welcome to assist with transfer.
Yeah.
We're not there to take any of that away. And we want that experience to be a good one. We don't want it to be, these people in suits came and they were not friendly or whatever. We're human, and before we even get to the business end, we're wanting to know how the family is first.
There's often hugs and it's human. It's being
it is
human.
definitely. But no, it's a very rewarding thing for us to do, and like I said, before, that if that part of our role is not done right, then that represents everything. That might be something that really sticks in their mind for the rest of that. Doesn't matter what you do on the funeral or even the way we speak on the phone. It might be just that point that one of them goes, oh, I didn't like how they did this. Yeah. The hardest thing for me with my little tricks of trying to stop it from happening is, but when we're zipping that cover up, and there's been multiple times that we've been in family home and
everything's quiet.
Yeah, family are in there saying their goodbyes, and I'm going zipping and trying to unzip it, and it doesn't always work. So, and I think that's where people go, oh, that sound. It's like, I just wish they could bring a zipper but I mean, even if there was Velcro, then you'd have that, that. I don't think
it's that sound of finality as well. Like they.
And I'm not into those hairnet things that some people carry. That would, not into that. I think how we do it is very professional.
It is. It is. And I think the most important thing is just to ensure our families that we are going to take the very best care of their loved one,
definitely.
And whatever we need to do to make them comfortable and happy, for a better word, we will do it 10 times over.
Well, I think that has done us for the day in regards to the transfer side of things. We have done another episode previously about similar type of things, so it's good just to update a lot of things that we do. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that's okay. I'll pay you, so you've got to be here.
I have no choice.
You were summoned to the treehouse. But no, I hope you've enjoyed that, or you've learned something from that. If you've ever had any bad experiences or anything else like that, I'm sorry you had to go through that. But I know that we endeavour to do what we need to do to make it right for our families. So until we bore you again, enjoy. Jump onto our socials, Bremba Family Funerals, and share some more. All right, guys. Bye for now.